Welcome to the Business Miracles Podcast. I'm Heather Dominick, founder of businessmiracles.com. Since 2010, I've been training highly sensitive entrepreneurs and leaders from around the globe to work less while making more impact and income by doing things differently. I'm so glad you've joined me. Listen in and get ready for a shift in the way you view yourself, your work, your life. A business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode 121, Socialization Trauma. When you have spent years denying who you are as an attempt to fit in, this creates what meditation teacher Tara Brach refers to as socialized trauma. Listen in as I share how working with this awareness allows you to begin to know your highly sensitive essential self, which then gives you access to a new level of creativity, productivity, and supports you in being able to make more of an impact along with more income. I want to take a moment to talk a little bit more about the social self and the essential self. So I'm a big fan of definitions and I love the dictionary. So to start with, and it might be helpful for you to write this down, is that the definition of social is relating to society or its organization. So again, relating to society or its organization. The definition of essential is absolutely necessary, extremely important. So again, the definition of essential is absolutely necessary, extremely important. So some further examples of the social self and or socialization. So we have country, nationality association, right? I'm German, I'm Irish, I'm French, I'm Italian, I'm American, I'm Canadian. City-town socialization, we could even say state or province, right? I'm a New Yorker, I'm from Georgia, I'm from Hawaii, I'm from Texas, I'm from Montana, I'm from Alaska. And with the understanding that when we're saying these things, we're immediately invoking a specific identity and what that supposedly means. So again, an association with a group or an organization, right? City, town, right? Especially high school, that's typically a big deal, right? I'm from this town, I go to this high school, this is my mascot, we're Indians, we're dragons, we're bumblebees, whatever. Race socialization, right? I'm Latino, I'm white, I'm Black, I'm Asian. Religious socialization, I'm Catholic, I'm Jewish, I'm Christian, I'm Hindu. Family socialization, we're the Joneses, we're the Smiths, we're the Dominicks. So not so much about these specific categories. It's about what these categories have come to mean. And then the way that we identify with the socialization and the meanings that we take on that very often were not generated from ourselves. But what's most important about socialization, and especially when it comes for those of us who are highly sensitive, is that, especially according to Tara Brach's work, is repeated socialization is a form of trauma. And I want you to write that down. So repeated socialization is a form of trauma. And what that means is repeated socialization that goes against your essential self. So when you have been taught to do something and you've done it over and over and over again, because that's what's accepted, that's how we do it, and it really is against your essential nature, that is an experience of trauma. And so what I always like to emphasize is that, there is a spectrum of trauma. And that's what we want to become aware of as HSEs, and especially as we go into looking at our shame shields. So the trauma that we typically associate with trauma is something very extreme, right? A divorce is traumatic. An accident is traumatic. The loss of a parent at a young age is traumatic. The loss of a child for a parent is traumatic. But yet there again is a spectrum. And repeated socialization as experienced as a trauma falls in about like the midway point. Because again, it's something that is jarring to your essential self. It's something that goes against who you are. And so trauma and socialization together are two things that can take you away from your essential self. And repeated socialization will have you overriding your essential self until you get to the point where you're like, I'm not really even sure who I am. So it's so easy to just say intellectually, oh yeah, like I want to be my essential self. Of course, that's who I want to be. And then when you're actually faced with making the changes to be able to experience your essential self, the ego mind totally rears its head and says, absolutely not. No way. That is going to be dangerous. So that's part of the reason why we continue to engage in socialized trauma, even when we come to an age where we are adults and we can make our own decisions out of ingrained and often unconscious fears and limiting beliefs. And then we play them out in all areas of our lives, including our business, and then we're so frustrated because why aren't things working for us? Deep breath in and let it out. So the trauma, because we have lost touch with our true selves, which makes sense for those of us who are highly sensitive, when the rest of the world is typically designed for the other 80%. And so we go through the world learning how to cope in it, and our coping mechanisms are a result of repeated socialization. Please write that down. Our coping mechanisms are a result of repeated socialization. So trauma takes possession of your essential self. And it's like it holds it prisoner and buries it deep, deep, deep down inside you. So whenever I'm talking about socialization and trauma as repeated socialization, I like to tell this story that I don't even remember where I picked it up, but somewhere along my spiritual journey and path, I received it. And it's a story about a little girl who goes out to dinner with her family. And the family is sitting at the table in the restaurant, and the waitress comes up to the table to take the order, and she says to the little girl, she's like, "So, darling, what would you like for dinner?" And the little girl looks up and she's like, "I would like a hot dog and French fries." And the father immediately speaks up. He goes, No. She's not going to have hot dog and French fries. She'll have meatloaf and mashed potatoes and vegetables like the rest of us. And so the waitress turns and looks at the little girl. She says, "What would you like on your hot dog?" And the waitress leaves, and the little girl says to her family, "She thinks I'm real."
Thank you for being a part of this Business Miracles podcast episode and for beginning to dip your toe into the journey of highly sensitive leadership training. If you are ready to truly use your sensitivities as strengths in all parts of your work and life, I invite you to connect for a one-on-one chat. You will experience being deeply listened to, and together we'll get a sense of whether the highly sensitive leadership training programs are the best next step for you and your highly sensitive journey at this time. Just go to www.claritycall.com to schedule a conversation. We so look forward to connecting with you. Talk to you soon.